a lot of people who are waiting for this indefinite leave are not doing anything tangible, anything in their career paths. They're just hanging on. That's most of them. Most I can tell you for free.
Okay.
Most of them. And especially when you look at that with this white paper that's extending the time within which to get the ILR from 5 to 10, it excludes core professionals like the nurses and the medical doctors.
Okay.
And these are the people, if they are here working, they are now, the system will protect them, and the system wants them. When you look at the indefinite leave to remain, when you have it, it doesn't guarantee anything as far as I'm concerned. So so much noise about it, it doesn't warrant it. I can't see equate the value to it with all the noise going on about indefinite leave to remain. Yeah, it's another paper, is another immigration, and it doesn't guarantee anything, both politically, socially, or religiously.
What happens after the person gets indefinite leave to remain? Will the person quit the job? If the person quits the job, where will the person fall back to? That is where some politicians are now raising concerns on recourse to public funds.
I say it again. I'm going to say it on air. One of the worst mistakes I made is staying back in the UK.
All right, guys. Good evening, everyone. This is an interesting episode that we're going to have. Very interesting conversation. So if you look at what has been happening in recent times, last time we sat down, we talked about the white paper in the UK, and even since after the white paper episode, there has been, developments, all around the world, around immigration, around, in UK, in Italy last week or so, there was a referendum on citizenship, all about immigration as well. In the US, for those that listen to mainstream media, there is, a lot of news coming out of US in the operations of ICE and what is happening, demonstrations and all that. So it's an interesting area, and the discussions around this area will continue to be ongoing. But in this case, last time we said we'll look into this idea of ILR, that is indefinite leave to remain, and we are using UK as a case example. So it will be a very interesting conversation here with my learned colleagues. So I have by my left here, I will call him Honorable because it's an honorable man. So Honorable Mike here by my left, and I have my learned colleague, Dr. Nliam.
You're not my learned colleague, you're not learned.
Well, in this environment, my colleague in this environment who is learned, Dr. Nliam in the house. So we're going to do justice to this discussion. So let's talk about.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us. It's always a pleasure. I hope we'll try to unpack it and see what are the benefits. But to me, a lot of times people see it as all benefits, but I don't think I completely buy that view. That is all benefits. It's not indefinite leave to remain in the UK is not a ticket to heaven. Even when you have it, there are so many restrictions, and even before you get it, there are restrictions. It doesn't take you away from being under immigration control. It's just another paper that you get. And when you look at the indefinite leave to remain, when you have it, it doesn't guarantee anything as far as I'm concerned. So so much noise about it, it doesn't warrant it. I can't see equate the value to it with all the noise going on about indefinite leave to remain. Yeah, it's another paper, is another immigration, and it doesn't guarantee anything, both politically, socially, or religiously. There is no guarantee to it. So that's my position or my view about it. But I think my colleague, Dr. Eze, might have a different view on that.
Okay, Dr. Eze.
Yeah, well, I think you just said what it is. Indefinite leave to remain is indefinite leave to remain. I know some people may want to, ask a question like, what is indefinite leave to remain in the first place? So I think the name is self-explanatory. So indefinite leave to remain is, you are living in the UK. Before you get indefinite leave to remain, some of us, we came into the UK via several immigration routes, and you are required to renew your visa over a period of time at the expiry. So what indefinitely leave to remain does is, it removes that idea of renewing visa to be in the UK. So because you are no longer on visa, so you are saved, some extra cost and extra stress that you go about, applying for visa, waiting for decision, because visa application is a process. It has its toll on the individual psychology. Then the cost of applying for visa also takes its toll. And in the UK, the cost of applying for visa is quite expensive. So the indefinite leave to remain, even though the cost of getting indefinite leave to remain is even more expensive than many visas, but what it does is it gives you that freedom of not
rest of mind.
Yeah, that emotional freedom, that financial freedom of not having to do fill this application, submit this document, go to so center for biometric appointment, and do all this and that. So it kind of saves that individual from those particular situations.
Now, you're talking about giving somebody freedom. Before you get to that stage, how long does it take? You would have lost the strength and the energy of when you are so focused on pursuing something. When you get to that level, you'll be clear to you that does this really want the effort, or does this really want the strength? A lot of people, when they come into the UK or America or any other place, they're looking for their residence. They focus on, especially those in the UK. I'll talk about the UK because I've lived here for a while and I know the experience people go through and what they do. I'll tell you, a lot of people come here, they pause their life. Yeah. And they're focused on getting indefinite leave to remain. They don't think about any other thing. They don't think about their career. They don't think about their family. They don't think about their children. Some even don't even, all their focus is, how do I get indefinite leave to remain? So at what cost are you pursuing this indefinite leave to remain? I know some people, they register in multiple courses to get them over the line. By the time you get over that line of having indefinite leave to remain, you will discover that, oh, does this really worth the effort? While I could have used my time for something more important. If somebody has come here to study, to do a master's program, you could as well finish your master's program. If you want to go back to Nigeria, go back to Nigeria, build your career. But some come here, okay, after my master's, what next? Indefinite leave to remain. And that's all. I know somebody, when he got in here, those days that we used to live in Aberdeen, he studied, I think, biochemistry in Nigeria. Now, finished his master's program, got his post-study, 2 years. And when his post-study finished, he said he's not going to do any other thing, that he's focused on getting indefinite leave to remain. And by the time we are looking at this man, was almost 45 years by the time he got his indefinite leave to remain. So tell me, what kind of freedom are you talking about when you have spent more than a decade, depending on the route through which you come in? If you come in here as a student, probably 1 year or 18 months master's program, 2 years post-study, then that post-study does not even put you on a track to getting that indefinite leave to remain. Now you're looking at another 5 years. Knock out 10 years out of somebody's life, and what freedom are you talking about?
Okay, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You are saying that the benefits, the benefit is not too fantastic to compare the stress.
Yes, I say that again. It's just like any other document or visa that you're going to get. Now, I have a friend. He kept on telling me by the time before he got his indefinite leave to remain, that he's not entitled to public fund. I told him that
you can do without the public fund.
That actually, before, even when you have the indefinite leave to remain, before you get that public fund of a thing, you will almost be a destitute. You will almost, because you will be expected to earn nothing. The combined household income will be less than £35,000. Then tell me, combined household income £35,000. That means he's earning 17,000 and your wife is earning 18,000. So you almost like you're a destitute before they give you anything. And when they put you on this public fund, you will literally not be able to do anything. Okay. And any mistake you make in the application for this public recourse to public fund might land you into benefit fraud or investigation. So, I mean...
Okay, Dr. Oscar. British government, this is the British United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Having the passports or having an indefinite to remain in UK, I think is something that somebody should be happy about.
Happy about this is the ticket to heaven.
Almost like that.
It's not. There are people who are in Nigeria who are doing far better than a lot of people who are in the United Kingdom. They don't have British passport. If you give it to them for free, they won't take. I'll give you as a personal example. When I finished my program, I didn't look for a job. I went to Nigeria immediately after my PhD program to work. I worked in Nigeria for 4 years before I came back here. And my coming back here is more of a personal circumstance, which I wouldn't want to share here. Not because I want to indefinitely leave to remain. I have colleagues who are practicing in Nigeria. They're doing very well. I have colleagues who I finished a master's program with, went back to Nigeria. They never came back here for anything. They're happy. So it's not like it's all. I'm not regretting here because everybody has a path God set out for him. Your circumstance might not be my circumstance. Dr. Eze's circumstance might not be my circumstance. I came back to the UK because of personal circumstances, which I wouldn't want to share here.
No problem.
So, but when I finished my program, I went to Nigeria and I was doing very well. I was happy about my practice and everything. So it's not like when you have indefinite leave and everything is good. I can tell you, count now 10 people that we did program together in Aberdeen. They're all in Nigeria. Some of them are almost approaching to become senior advocates of Nigeria.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why most times when people focus on this indefinite leave to remain, this my mind, because when you have it, what next? What are you going to be?
That's another area we are going to go. Yeah. The next step after the definitely
probably the next step is British citizenship, which doesn't change anything that much as far as I'm concerned. Because if you have your money anywhere in the world where you live, you can do anything you want.
You said if you have your money and the environment, the system here will make you to have the money.
I don't think so.
The system is working, the economy is working, and the level of unemployment rate is very low.
Yeah.
So to compare vis-a-vis in some West African countries, the unemployment rate is very high.
Yes, I agree with you on that in terms of unemployment. But here, there's an extent to which you can get to, the level you can get to, even with your British passport. And mind you, even if you have indefinite leave to remain, you have a British passport, they will never take you as a British.
I know.
You are a black man with a British passport.
Yes.
Black African. I've experienced, my daughter got angry the other day. They said each time they ask her where she's from, she says she's Scottish. They said, where are you originally from? I told them they're asking you the right question. so make no mistake about that. Even if you have 3 British passports, you are a black man with a British passport. In fact, I gave them an example that if I see Oyibo man in my village, I ask him where is he from. He says I'm from Imo. I'll ask him where are you originally from, because I don't expect a white man to be from my village.
Yes.
So
I would, if you ask me in that direction, I would say that maybe that statement may be a bit stereotypical. That is, it may be sometimes it could be in all fairness the right objective, but when we are saying being unnecessarily stereotype is making unnecessary generalization. So for you to say every maybe person that looks like me must be from Nigeria, even when the person is not from Nigeria.
Not necessarily Nigeria. They know that you don't belong here, but go ahead.
Yeah. So, but you see, there are different categories of migrants. So there are in the UK, for example, there are people that wants to come to UK and study and go home and work. And those people, they come to UK, they study, they go home.
Yeah.
There are people that want to come to UK to work.
And there are people, when they come in here, somebody will say the idea of indefinite leave to remain and they start pursuing it. Go ahead.
So there are people, from my experience, there are people with different intentions. There are people that want to come in and work. Mm-hmm. They don't want to come and study. Like we have our beautiful nurses and doctors that are here doing wonderfully well, engineers and all that. There are people that naturally, they want to live in the UK, naturally. So for those people that naturally want to live in the UK, it's a natural recourse for them to come in and look for that ways to live longer. And it is not it's not a negative thing that they want to live in the UK, but it is kind of they have seen the life of the British people. They love the life of the British people. They want to integrate into the British system. They want to integrate into the British culture. They want to,
now let me
conclude this.
Okay,
part.
Go ahead.
So, they want to be part of the system. So I wouldn't generalize that for like people, pursuing indefinite, that it's not generally useful for them. For those people that want to integrate in this system, that want to understand the language, understand the culture, it is beneficial for them because it gives them that opportunity to live in the society that they desire to be in.
Let me take you on something. You mentioned something that's people who want to desire and who love to be here. Let me ask you now. Give you an option. Do you want to live in the UK and integrate here? Yes or no?
Yes, I would like to.
You would like to. Give you an option. Would you want to live here and integrate your life in the UK here?
Well,
yes or no?
Well,
yes or no? It's on the spot opinion pool that I'm taking now.
Yeah, but by my philosophy, I'm not trained to answer
yes or no. If somebody is sending an opinion pool, you wouldn't start explaining. This is just on the spot opinion pool. Yes or no? Given the option. Now we don't need to answer. If I ask our producer, our cameraman, he will be no. Now this is the only person. A Nigerian.
And I have my reasons.
Yeah, you have absolutely. I respect your reasons. The only Nigerian that I have asked, do you want to live and integrate here? And he says yes. Even my son, who is 14 years old, he enjoys Nigerian music, Igbo music. These are the kind of things he loves. Telling you, he has not even been to Nigeria before, but he loves it. Our culture is, our lifestyle is here. It's just a matter of probably the economy in Nigeria is not doing very well. That's why everybody is running out. But in truth, 80% of Nigerians, especially the Igbos you see in the UK, desire to go home.
Well, even when the Nigerian economy was doing well in the 60s and 70s, there are still Nigerians that desire to come and integrate.
Oh yeah, in the very UK. Few of them.
Then, if you are talking about a child who has integrated so well here, but he's enjoying the...
He has not integrated. I didn't make that representation. He has not integrated.
Well, for the fact that he was born here and he's a teenager.
He has integrated.
No, you understand that.
You cannot say he has not integrated.
He has not. I'll tell you that.
So like I remember when we were growing up, I used to enjoy Shaggy.
Yeah, Shaggy.
I didn't know where Shaggy is from. When I started playing Shaggy's music, when I started listening to Michael Jackson and others, I never dreamt to even visit the United States where Michael Jackson was based, but I still enjoy the music. So it's not a matter of
integration is relative.
Yeah, it's relative. So the in essence, if somebody, remember, UK is not, or the British system is not, making it compelling you to want to stay here and integrate. They give you that free choice, and maybe that is why recently there is conversation that before we begin to let people to settle here, then maybe we need a longer time for integration, because if you look at some of the statements that the policymakers or the politicians were making, they are saying that they are having people who are settled with ILR who does not speak English language.
But that's not applicable to. It's not applicable to Nigerians.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm making a general. It's not about Nigerians. So because if you look at what the reasons that we are giving for that elongation, it's part of it. So if somebody have lived here for that significant amount of time and they are not speaking English language, then it's a thing of worry for the policymaker,
because the person has not really integrated,
and the system wants you to integrate. So now it's up to. It may be that the person may have their reason of not speaking that English language. It could be that they don't want to stay here. They just want to maybe do their studies or do the business they want to do here and go back to where they came from, which is their choice. But to integrate here, the system wants you to we are welcoming. We want you to be part of us. And we want you to integrate.
Okay, thank you very much. I want us to step up a bit.
Okay.
Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of the UK, mentioned about the white paper. 5 years. They want to increase the number of years from 5 years to 10 years. I want to ask you, does it worth it? Or what do you think could be the reactions from the professionals who are here? Are they going to say they want to stay for 10 years before they will be able to have that indefinite leave to remain? I want to hear your opinion.
Now, for me, speaking from hindsight, it doesn't worth it. I'll give you one or two reasons. Reason one, a lot of people who are waiting for this indefinite leave are not doing anything tangible, anything in their career paths. They're just hanging on.
That's most of them.
Most I can tell you for free.
Okay.
Most of them. And especially when you look at that with this white paper that's extending the time within which to get the ILR from 5 to 10, it excludes core professionals like the nurses and the medical doctors.
Okay.
And these are the people, if they are here working, they are now the system will protect them and the system wants them. Now, the other people that want to stay for 10 years are some of them who are doing support work, who are doing care job. And I don't think that many Nigerians who are doing that job in the UK here did it in Nigeria. Some may have done it or may not do it. We don't have that system in Nigeria of care system where the elderly are moved into the care homes. We have our African culture where elderly parents takes care of.
There are some elderly homes now in Nigeria.
Well, not compared to what it is. There are very few. Probably you'll be talking about Lagos. I don't know.
Lagos Abuja. One now in Imo State.
No, that's Ebko. Forget about Ebko. Forget about him. Oh, those pastors are called the Pastor Pero. Sabawan calls them pulpit bandits. So the point I'm making is that it's not a profession that Nigerians are known for. If we say doctors, nurses, and lawyers, then accountants, that's understandable. But care and support is not something. So a lot of them doing that here, probably some of them are lawyers, some of them are accountants, some of them are economists, and have come to do that. And having to commit your 10 years of your life in a work that you don't like. An average working life of a man is 35 years. And you've committed 10 years in a field that you are not happy about. Every day you go to work, you just be cursing yourself.
There's no passion.
There's no passion. Every day you wake up in the morning and say, oh, this day is another day break. How am I going to navigate this? So let me ask you, do you think it was 10 years of agony? Let me use that word.
It does not make sense.
10 years of it, to me, it doesn't. To be honest, it doesn't really worth it as far as I'm concerned. But people will commit to it. Then when they get to that end, they realize, oh my God, is this why I've been wasting my time? For that will always be the case. And it's not only applicable to indefinite leave to remain. Sometimes you pursue something with your passion, with all your strength, with all your energy. By the time you have it in your hand, you're asking yourself,
it's a natural thing.
If I may react to that, right? So, somebody came in, took a care worker role. Presumably, I suppose whoever that wants to do care work, the care job is a sector that, you need to have that compassion
Yeah, you need to
and
have
the
that
zero
compassion
to be
do the
able to
job.
work in that sector. Now, there's somebody takes that job, and the only hope of taking that job is to get indefinite leave to remain after 5 years. Then the person, to the best of my understanding, is not doing that job with passion. So he's only doing that to get
To survive.
to survive to get to this point. Then it then brings to question, what happens after the person gets indefinite leave to remain? Will the person quit the job? If the person quits the job, where will the person fall back to? That is where some politicians are now raising concerns on recourse to public fund. Now, that is another question, maybe for another day.
Yeah.
Now, for now, in terms of 5 years to 10 years, I want to respond to that. Majority of people that are going through the ILR route, majority of them are going through the 10-year route. It's quite a limited number who are doing 5 years, maybe professionals like doctors or nurses, but every other people, maybe you came in here for a study and you studied and you get currently there is 2 years post-study, you do 2 years post-study, then you now get a job that will keep you for 5 years. If you add it up, it's about 8 years.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are doing less than the 5 years initially. So what? It's not like I'm not holding brief for the government, but I believe most of the things that government does, they do their research, they have their data, and they sit down and take appropriate decision. So it's a question of, remember, even when you are doing the 5-year route, you are not under any obligation to stay.
Yeah,
if the system is not fair for you, you go. And now I want to also point out something that we may not be looking at here, because when this 5-year, 10-year issue came up, there is most of the outcry I had, unquote, I'll call it outcry, unquote, is from those in the care sector. But remember,
why the outcry is from them, I said it earlier on, is that many of them doing that job are just hanging on.
Now, that is why I want to address this. So, for them to be able to do that job, the government lowered the bar. We have to understand this. The government lowered the bar to accommodate, care workers from the outside.
The government lowering the bar is not doing them a favor.
Yeah, but
the government, no government anywhere does does migrants a favor. No government anywhere.
Yeah,
because the government, they needed their services.
Yeah, whatever government lowers the bar is going to benefit from it, especially for migrants.
And their services are very, very essential.
So in this case, before 2020, care workers were still coming, but they have to. Government did not lower the bar for them. So if you came before 2020 as a care worker, you have to pay immigration health surcharge. And immigration health surcharge is in the tune of thousands. But for care workers who are going through that route and they are getting 5-year visa, the government have saved them already £5,000. And remember when I started, I talked about the burden of cost. So the government have removed that cost for them.
Now,
then the government has also said, what else did they do? I'm trying to remember now. It just skipped my mind. They
can come in with their dependents.
Category coming with dependent. Then the category of care workers, it used to be at a specific level for you to come in as a care worker or a support worker. Government also reduced it. So I think it used to be, I will use category here, but there is a grading level for it. It used to be grade 3 or category 3, but they reduced it to 2, to accommodate that process. So the people that came into the system may not understand what was the historical process before they came in. And they may be thinking maybe this was how the situation is. That then we came in, the government started changing, but that was not the case. So it's sometimes it's good to
now even whether lowering the bar or no lowering the bar, the lowering of the bar is not doing them any favor. They're coming here to provide services that is that the government needs for its citizens. Then they require the migrants to come and do it here. And the migrants who are doing this job here, like you alluded to that, many of them is not their passion, is not their calling, is not what they want to do. So they're hanging on. When you hang on for 5 years, maybe from the lowering of the bar is not.
How can you substantiate this assessment that many of them don't have any passion on the job?
Now, aside from care worker, statistics has it that 70% of employees are not happy with their job. Can you argue with that?
If that
can you argue with that?
Well,
nobody wakes up in the morning to jog to his own work.
No, from that angle, I can agree.
Yeah, now
I know where the analysis is.
It tells you all you need to know. If the whole global employees, 70% of them are not happy with their work. In fact, nobody, I'm sure, I don't want to get that personal. I'm sure many of us are very happy with our job. The job I did the other time, oh my God, I will snooze my alarm 10 times before I get up.
Because you are not happy with what you are doing.
Because I'm not happy, but people around may not know. They will say, Oscar is very happy. You should see me, I dress smartly with my shirt and move on. But within me, I was really like dying slowly. And this is what is happening. Well, when you interview them one-on-one, they'll tell you, guy, if I have my will, I don't think I'm good at this.
I think why we may think that some of the care workers, I may not agree to that they are not happy with their job, is, we've seen documentaries, we've seen situations where these workers were brought in and they were being exploited. Even the government acknowledged that. So for somebody
exploited by the system or by the
it's not they were not exploited by the system. You can go on the news website, on the mainstream news, is we have it that the employers were extorting money from these people. They were asked to pay money.
Yeah, that one is just a rare occasion. This is not like it's
there were allegations. I watched a documentary on the BBC.
This is like a one-off thing. There are established care homes here who employ people here. Now, taking you on these documentaries and these things, you I'm sure you would have also seen where these people that are being taken care of abuse these people, taking care of them, spitting on them, calling them names, using racist law on them.
Well,
so have you seen that as well?
Well, if
have you seen that as well? Answer for once, yes or no.
Well, I wouldn't. By my philosophy, I'm not trying to answer yes or no. It all depends, because if somebody have seen on social media where somebody that is being looked after is spitting on another person, I would take it that person is making it is a content creator.
No, it's not. There's nothing content about it. It's like it's a camera in those care homes. And don't tell me,
care homes can is against the law.
Yeah, it's against the law. People
publish
do a lot of
what happens in care homes.
It's not like they're publishing it legally, but those things sneak out. So people sneak those things out. Those people, even those carers, even put their own recording with their own personal videos, which also is illegal. But they bring those things out just to prove a point.
If that person that is doing it, I know our topic here is not care work, and I'm not the spokesperson for the care sector. But data protection, information management, ICO rules. You don't.
No, you are going into an entirely different area.
And that is where we are talking about passion for the job. So remember, in the care sector, before you go into the care sector, you receive training, and some of the trainings you will be warned about the environment you are going into. And the people you look after. There
is no job that you go into without being trained. Even after that training, why is it that 70% are still not happy?
Well, I don't have that. I don't have that statistics. I'm not justifying why they are not happy.
People want free money.
Yeah. So the question now for the government becomes, if peradventure this is the case, the people are not happy, and I know the Labour government in the UK, their position is, as much as possible, get British citizens back to work. the ones that needed some adjustment, that needed some support from the government to be able to go to work, the government wants to get them back to work. So if the government is making this effort to get them back to work, remember the subject of the discussion here is ILR.
Yeah.
And now, assuming 70% of the people in the care sector, because the care sector has been one of the largest recruiter
employer of labor
of foreign
workers
in the UK. And if peradventure 70% of that number are not happy with their job, what it means is that when they get ILR, they have an option. And the option is they would stay unemployed and fall back to the public benefits system.
Now, like that's good. So I'm happy you're mentioning this point. Now, let me shock you. When you fall back to that public fund, you can only buy food from Iceland.
It's not enough to
you can only, so you can't even help yourself with the public fund you are getting. You barely will be eating baked beans.
now so it's
not like it's so. And again, for somebody who has been working, you've been enjoying certain standard of life, especially for migrants. We all come here with good and grandiose ambition to make money. I'm sure people from Nigeria are calling you to send money. You need to buy a house, ride on the latest version of cars, and so on. So now, that's why I'm saying that this indefinite leave to remain doesn't really offer you that much security and freedom that we think it offers. You get it, leave the job you are doing to have recourse to public fund. Is that not correct?
Yeah, that was it.
That's for the person that is not happy.
Then, when you have recourse to the public fund, your standard of living will drop to what it used to be when you were working.
And it will begin to put pressure on the government. Already, the government is also already complaining about the rising...
And that's what the government is trying to avoid.
Yeah, good. The government is complaining. I think currently the government is spending around 9 billion every month. Yeah. And the government said it's not sustainable. So if the government... I don't have the data, but if the government is saying that, oh, okay, we brought in about, for example, 200,000 healthcare workers and 70% of them are not happy with their job. So you're talking about over 140, 150 million people that if
doctors
after 5 years they are not happy with their job and they are not able to switch job, they will fall back to the
doctors. Let me tell you this thing. You probably may not have thought about it, but just do a random sampling of migrants here in the UK. They don't want to drop their standard of living. Rather, they want to make more money. And targeting recourse to public fund is not an option. How many migrants have you seen that are on benefits?
When you are talking about recourse to public fund, there is the immediate, maybe, which is this benefit they are talking about, which is not actually beneficial if you want to live a good life.
I'm happy
but it's a safety net that the government has for the citizen who are struggling. And the government is not the government is not expecting you to be on it for a long time. They just want you to be on it on a safety net so you can get something. And the government makes sure that the system is able to provide jobs and all that. Again, there is an aspect of the recourse to public fund that people are not also looking into, like in the area of state pension. Now we are talking about ILR, it takes 10 years. Now, for you to also be able to, if you want to live in the UK, you want to live here, you want to integrate here, you want to work here, you want to retire here. So what ILR gives you, it gives you that chance to work, contribute, because you need to contribute to the national insurance for at least 10 years to be eligible.
10 years minimum.
For eligible to earn pension. So if you you came in here,
the pension you're talking about, it's not like when you contribute 10 years, you start drawing from the pension. There is a minimum age.
There is a minimum
number of years of service that you have put in to get into that. The point I'm making is it's not like the indefinite. Yeah, if you live long enough in a particular country, you definitely get their citizenship or get their permanent residence, whether America, Canada, or Australia, wherever it is. But the so much focus on indefinite leave to remain in the UK and how we get it, how do we get it, is what what's I don't understand, because it doesn't really offer the purported freedom, security, liberty that people think it gives, especially this issue of recourse to public fund benefits and other things. Without that indefinite leave to remain, if you live here legally, you do all stuff, you do all sorts, get those things, still enjoy your life, than having to, once I get it, I resign from my care job and start enjoying public fund.
Yeah, so
you are setting up yourself up for the
this is what we should encourage. People should always aim for that high. And I can tell you for free, if you're here in the UK, you are committed to doing your job, you stay focused on your job, even if the government says, it's 10 years. If you are doing your job and you are doing all you are supposed to do, you are here legally, that 10 years to you is nothing. Because
10 years of somebody's life, you say it's nothing.
Because when
you are working and enjoying yourself, you don't even know the 10 years.
You are working, you are contributing.
No, 10 years is not 10 years.
You are integrating. You would. 10 years will just be like yesterday.
Let's compare.
Again. I know, for example, some of us, the countries we come from, right? Your passport would only allow you to go to that country, or maybe if it's in the West African region, like ECOWAS, you could only go to ECOWAS, which is about 16 countries or whatever.
With British passport, you're open to so many.
If with British passport, you are
I've had British passport for how many years? I don't think I've got to anywhere.
But that is your choice. Because British passport gives you.
You have a British passport. Where have you gone to?
I've been to many countries. I've been to many countries in Europe. I've been to the United States.
People who don't have British passport make those travels.
Yeah, but
in fact, the easiest passport I have gotten in my life is American visa. Is American visa, and I didn't have a British passport.
Okay.
To get it.
So, but you have to apply for visa.
So what immigration rule?
Now you have to go for biometric. You have to do that. But when you have British passport,
it's a ticket to heaven.
You just pack your bag
and
go online, fill up your ETA, and you're.
You have an advantage.
Dr. Eze, I will call you. Don't go about parading this indefinite leave to remain as a ticket to heaven or ticket of passport.
Let's compare the UK with other countries in this indefinite leave to remain. They use
even Canada. Canada is easier to get.
Yeah,
if you finish a postgraduate study in Canada,
years, you'll be able to get it.
You apply for a permanent residence, and the number of years of your stay in Canada is applied to your.
It's still counting.
And I tell you for free that the benefits that those who have
more.
What you don't get any benefits here as definitely live to remember.
Well, my response to that, I remember during my days in the university, one of my political science professors, when he comes to class and he's addressing the class, he say, you see all these professors that come here and tell you when I was in Germany, when I was in Canada, when I was in Australia. Anytime they come here and tell you when I was in Germany, you ask them, is here Germany? So here is UK. If you want to
you can compare.
Okay, now you've made that point. Okay, let me ask you a question. I know you don't answer questions, but I will obviously ask. Now, okay, let me start with you. Do you know anybody that has migrated, a Nigerian, let me restrict it, that has migrated from UK to Canada? Yes or no?
Yes, I know.
How many?
A few of them.
5, 6, 7, 8, or 10?
Less than 5. I know.
Okay. Do you know any Nigerian that has migrated from Canada to the UK?
No.
Okay. I'll come to you. Do you know any Nigerian that used to live in the UK and has gone to Canada?
Yes.
How many? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10?
Well, I know a few.
Do you know?
In fact, I want to use one example to answer your question.
Do you know how many Nigerians do you know that have migrated from Canada to the UK? Now, I ask myself that question. The church I used to go to in Glasgow, half of that church left UK and went to Canada.
Okay.
Half of that church.
They are Nigerians.
They bought houses in the UK. I'm telling you, Nigeria is a Nigerian church. I don't want to mention the name.
Well,
Move to Canada. You know the funny thing? I'll tell my wife. They will come to the church and say, "Oh, thank God, the Lord spoke to me, and God has called me to migrate to Canada." I tell my wife, forget these people. God is not calling them to migrate to Iran or to Iraq or migrate back to Nigeria. It's only Canada and the US that God is telling them to migrate to. So forget those people. That's economic migration. They got another job there and they feel that place is better and they left. So back to what I'm saying. I don't know any Nigerian that has made that journey from Canada or US to the UK.
So what I'm trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is that the benefit there is better than here.
Well, I have a few examples, both Nigerian and non-Nigerians. I know somebody personally who moved from the UK to Canada.
Yeah.
Lived in Canada 1 year, 2 years, moved back to the UK.
That's an exceptional case.
Oh, well. You may take it as an exceptional case, but this is
that's 1 in a million.
Yeah. That's 1 in a million. So how many do? Okay, now tell us how many you know that moved
apart from this
that moved from number, UK to Canada.
I don't know anybody. There is nobody I know that have moved from UK to Canada.
You don't know anybody?
Yeah.
I can tell you,
I know so many.
Aside what I mentioned to you,
but I have not seen anybody from Canada to UK.
No way. Have you seen somebody from US to UK?
No, but I've seen from UK to US.
Many. My brother-in-law, my younger brother.
You don't like seeing somebody from UK to Nigeria. You have not seen. But you can see somebody from Nigeria to UK.
So
well, there is I know it's not, you know, there are things we see on air and there are things we don't see on air. I know for people that move from UK to US and they've not come back to UK, there is a question to that. But let's
what kind of question?
Well, if you look at what President Donald Trump is doing in US currently, it will tell you why. Because most of them, they go there, they become illegal.
Well,
and when they become illegal, they are not able to travel.
If you're illegal immigrants are not acceptable in any country.
Yeah, so that's a different. I'm talking about people who are settled there, who have American passports that migrate to the UK in search of greener pasture.
Because if you are looking at UK, apart from migrants from other countries, right? Let's look at migration between UK and Canada. You have a lot of Canadians migrate to UK, and you have a lot of UK.
I don't believe that.
You need to check the statistics.
No way.
If it, like Scotland is one of the beautiful places that Americans, Canadians likes to come and reside.
They come here. They come here on holidays, not migrating. Let me tell you, the earning capacity, the tax, you can't compare. The houses, the cars, everything is bigger, more spacious, more luxurious. So why would somebody leave heaven to come to hell?
Well,
I say it again. I'm going to say it on air. One of the worst mistakes I made is staying back in the UK.
Why do you say that?
If I have my options, we are much younger, I won't be here.
But you are still a young man.
Well, at what age?
yeah.
At what age? That's one of the regrets I have. Staying back in the UK.
Do you know?
Yes, I would have either gone to the US or gone to Canada.
Okay.
Do you know? Like
that's just it. The only thing that was if I had initially, I said it at the beginning. My initial plan was not to stay back in the West. It wasn't in my agenda. So when I went to Nigeria, something happened, a personal circumstance that made me to come back. Yeah. If my plan was to be in the West, it's not staying in the UK.
You could have been in US or Canada?
Straight away.
Or Iran?
No way. God would not call you to go to Iran.
Well, I think the only way I want to respond to that is, I'm not this good at comparing UK and US or Canada, which one is better. UK is UK. Canada is Canada, US is US, Germany is Germany, Australia is Australia.
They have different
Ghana is Ghana. There is something that makes UK what UK is. There is something that makes US what US is. There is something, so I wouldn't, compare, with bias, or that this person has better option than this person. We all, in economics, there's something we call comparative advantage.
Yeah.
So every section have their own
Yeah, I agree
every
with you.
section
I
have
agree
their-
with you on that. At least I will always say, wherever you live, there is something you are missing in the other place that you are not living. Whether if you are,
You can't get it all.
you can't get it all. If you are living in Nigeria, there are things you are missing. If you are not living in the UK, then if you are living in the UK, there are loads and loads of things you are missing for not living in Nigeria. At least going out with your friends to hang out and the
Those,
freedom and
social
the
life,
liberty, the social life, the
communal life, yeah.
missing your friends, meeting your friends and classmates and so on. Those days when I used to work in Zenith, on Fridays when we close from work, we don't go home straight.
Yeah.
We hang out, and if they call us on phone, we tell them, oh, traffic, we're waiting for traffic on just Adobe Street to clear. While we are there, while we are there, coming down. So all those kind of things, you miss them.
Well, those kind of life are here. It depends on the circle of friends you've chosen.
No, yeah, but not at that.
There are still people that finish work. There are still people that will finish work. The city center down there.
That is city center, but then one of our lecturers told us story those days. Our criminal law lecturer, he said one man every time he goes out to drink and eat nkwobi and oba. So the wife was angry. I said, why is it that every time that you are going out, if I had that drink, I'm going to buy all those drinks for you here and make the oba here. So the woman went and did the thing. The man finished the thing and said that's what he made it. That all those his friends, he's meeting them, they're waiting for him.
So it's the fun and the joy.
So it's not only the internet the drinking. So when I go to those cities, first I see there, I will make me angrier.
Yeah, because you don't have that circle of friends that you would always hang out. Because I from my own experience, I know a few friends that if you want to hang out every day of the week, after work we'll go and do 1759. I think that's what it's called in Nigeria.
Yeah, but then
1759. Yeah, goodness.
The thing is that the circle is for if you live in Nigeria, it's easy to get those circle of friends. Like where I work, I don't have friends there that I hang out with after work. Do you get? But in your office, definitely you make friends, and you guys
because of the environment.
Because of the environment, you know them, they know you. You guys, you know their family. You guys go out. Maybe with this day, one person is doing baby dedication, the other day is doing this person is doing Thanksgiving. So those things are very, very common. Here, you have to plan it and a kind of really create time for it and make it happen. Like I know somebody that has come from London to this Glasgow. We used to be schoolmates in those days, back in the days. I'm still struggling to find time to go and see him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
okay. We are trying to round up with one question. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to respond to that because I think it's it has to do with individual personality. In terms of like social life, there are people they're in a place. I know there is this culture shock. When you go to a new place, but it doesn't mean, and that is where the question of integration comes in. And one good thing about the UK, I will say that, is that the UK encourages multicultural integration. UK have a system.
This integration you're talking about. Integration you're talking about. Let me tell you something. Last year, I went for work dinner with my colleagues. These people, the kind of things you are talking about,
it's not what
it's not what you're talking about. I went there with no disrespect. This is not something I'm used to. The kind of stories they'll be saying, how they grew up, the kind of friends they had in secondary school. I didn't school here. I did only postgraduate study here. So that secondary school experience, a white person is saying is different from the one you had in, I don't know if you attended one of those bush grammar schools.
Yeah. But in this case, is get the point where I'm coming from. So the UK, so social integration I wouldn't want us to go, start going, theoretical. But social integration could be vertical or horizontal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you couldn't integrate in the other way, there is every opportunity. I'll give you an example. In Nigeria, there's what we call, when we were at the university, then there's what we call the bureaucratic system.
Mm-hmm.
So where there is opportunity for you to interact with your
local government,
people from your locality. In the UK have a very standardized system where you get those societies or those communities. There is a legal framework, a legal provision that is even through the Charity Commission funds those cultural activities. Like for Nigerians in the UK, you have Yoruba community, Igbo community, and all those things. And the government is not shying away from it. The government comes in, give them that support to ensure that integration, that cultural integration is there. So, for example,
let me continue. We are running out of time. This one, they are legislating the cultural integration, creating a structure. In Nigeria, the cultural integration is there.
No,
you don't have to buy a charity.
No, by system. What they are doing is to enhance it, because they are not asking you to join there or to join there or join there. We find ourselves, I would say, okay, because we are from Nigeria, we are Nigerian community in.
We have such things here now.
Yeah, so you can integrate within that community, and from there you can go to
in Glasgow alone now we have the Igbo welfare group.
Okay.
This is a association that meets once in 2 months. We have the Imo State Union, the Aba State, and they meet once in 2 months. But what I'm telling you, in Nigeria, this happens every day. You don't have to wait for 2 months for it, even though there are still these meetings.
No, the cultural background
they are completely different. So you don't even.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We are coming to the end of this episode.
I think for today we'll probably take it up next time.
Yes, the topic is very, very vast.
It is, yeah.
The next one we discuss about the implementation of the white paper. We discuss about the acceptability within the UK, Scottish, the West, and England. There are so many things to discuss about. Dr. Zaya, thank you.
Thank you.
And Augusta, thank you. So God bless you.
It's been a
nice conversation.
Nice conversation. It's not that my problem with you is I don't answer questions.
Yes, I today, my friend.
So you said it's philosophy.
You know the philosopher.
Yeah. All right. Cheers, man.